International Workers' Day is a day set aside globally to recognize the contribution of workers to global peace, the global economy, and to the global stability. I want to reiterate that the theme of this year May Day captures the mood of the moment. Labor, politics, quest for good governance and national development is very significant, comrades. If you look at the mood of the moment in our country, a lot of things are not working right. The working class have not been given social justice. And importantly, we have a distorted system. The insecurity issue is very perverse and is getting worse by the day. This is the mood of the moment. And all of this require political decision to be able to fix them. And that is why the theme is very important to all of us. Comrades, as we around the beginning of this year's May Day, let us have at the back of our mind that Nigerian situation cannot change if we sit down on the fence and continue to watch. We cannot sit down as citizens, as workers, and continue to watch. And that is why the theme is very, very important. It resonates from our struggle and the struggle of the working class from 1886 at the Haymarket Square, where we struggle for 8 hours work per day, where we struggle for social justice, where we struggle for minimum wage, where we struggle for maternity leave, where we struggle for 40 hours work per week. Because before then, workers work like slaves. You don't have overtime, you don't have working hours. It is only when you are sick, you are then replaced with another worker. That is how workers of the world came together in 1886 to say enough of injustice, enough of the sacrifice we have made that have not been recognized. And that is how the global order changed. And that is why the ILO was formed in 1919 after the First World War. And in the constitution of the ILO, it is stated clearly that there cannot be peace globally without social justice. That the foundation of peace is social justice. Is there social justice for workers today?
No!
Across all sectors of the economy, from our teachers to our lecturers, from our public servants, to our armed forces, including the paramilitary, the salary is so poor that is called poverty wages. In fact, this is the benchmark of our struggle, that we must realize that fact. All that we have gotten was not given to us by any government. All that we have gotten as workers around the world was gotten through collective struggle, through the deployment of workers' power. And therefore, even in the quest to have a good political system that will address the monumental challenges that is facing Nigeria today, we need to work collectively. And that is why the theme is very, very important. Every worker today must memorize this year's May Day because it is the foundation for our collective liberation. And let me reiterate it again. We said labor, politics, and the quest for social justice, good governance, and national development. And I said clearly that we are also going to work for our political emancipation. We'll be very, very active. And by now, if any worker does not have his permanent voter's card, I will show you my own on the May Day. I expect everybody that have it, let us show the politicians. On the May Day, you can display it. 12 million Nigerian workers, 8 million Nigerian pensioners, and your children and your family. By now, if you don't have voter's card, you have not started the journey. The journey starts with your voting rights. American workers have done it. They brought in Biden. And Biden said he's not ashamed to be called the Labour president. If the almighty president of America, which is the cradle of democracy, just Google his Twitter, you will see it there. He said he's not ashamed to be called the workers' president. And that's why he's proposing today $15 per hour minimum wage. Calculate those into Nigerian money. How much is our minimum wage? It's less than $100. It's less than $100, less than $80. But today, American president have received the support of workers. Our counterpart, American Federation of Labor, he's saying that he's not ashamed to be called a union president. And he's proposing a bill that the minimum wage should be $15 per hour, multiplied by 30 days. You will arrive at where it is. Comrades, not only that, he also made a proclamation in the case of Alabama to say that every American worker should be allowed to join union freely. Why? Because they played a role. They were able to shape the polity. In many jurisdictions, I can give you an example. And that is how we need to be politically conscious. American Federation of Labor drove that process through what they called Working America. Working America means every worker in America, in your community and in your locality, you must mobilize 10 people. Whether they are workers or not, they must be active and they must have their voting rights and they will vote in line with what you try to now advocate. This is the starting point, comrade. And this is the import of this year's May Day. So let the message go very far and near. Strike alone, protest alone cannot change the narrative. You can have the best of strike, as our brothers and sisters in the education sector are having today. You can have the best of protest. They will still go back and take a political decision that is against the will and also the betterment of the life of many Nigerian workers. Whereas, if you look at the wage structure, they are collecting what they call humongous wages. Yet, in many states today, even the meager 30,000 is not paid as and when due. I saw in Abia 2 days ago, for 38 months, pensioners have not been paid. Our senior citizens have not been paid. The system has collapsed. Can you imagine that a worker will work for 35 years, 60 years of age, retire? In other climes, they call them senior citizens. I can tell you in all the Scandinavian countries, their retirement age is even lower than 50. Because when you retire, you are sure of a package. You are sure of where you live. Even if you don't have a house, there is a package for you. For old age people, they have old age remain home, where the medical care, their food, and their allowances is being paid. But in Nigeria, you are left to be on your own. And nobody cares whether you survive or not. We have seen different category of people. Senior citizens protesting every day and now. It's not because we don't have the resources. We have the resources. We can see politics have been monetized. The major political parties, you can hear, even to get nomination form, is going for 100 million naira. So they are saying now, politics is not for good people. Politics is not for people that can serve the people. Politics is for the highest. Politics is for the highest. So which means all of us on minimum wage have been alienated from politics. That is the import of this statement. And therefore, comrades, if you are not concerned, if you are not agitated, by now you should be agitated. That is the story. And that is why the theme of this May Day resonates that issue. And therefore, we must now be conscious, politically conscious to our rights and obligations. So, comrades, we have very little time. I've just laid the foundation of what will around this year's May Day.
And salute your tenacity. Let us march in unity. We shall actually overcome.
This way. Let's go slowly. Let's get them slowly. Stop. Moses. Take them forward now. Take them forward. Comrade, let's go. But don't move too fast. Vehicles not taking this route. Okay. Yeah, block now.
There's nothing that be sent for me.